How much do you think the claims of these survivors are worth? As the good congressman from Kentucky just pointed out, there were lots of survivors who had decided, for reasons of their own, never to release their names. That determination was represented to people in Congress, and we built it into our federal law that their names could not be released, and yet you published their names, their phone numbers, their addresses, personally identifying information. If Donald Trump can get $10 billion theoretically from the Department of Justice, how much should these people get for a far worse violation of their privacy rights and a far greater danger established to them in their lives?
Do you even know who Chase Mulligan is? You're so obsessed with, you don't, do you?
I'm going to teach you the rules again. You're the Attorney General of the United States. We have rules here.
You're obsessed with him.
You're the Attorney General of the United States.
You're obsessed with Donald Trump. You have Trump derangement syndrome.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like my time
Mulligan will be
restored. I'd like my time restored.
In your district. In your district, and you don't even know about it, about keeping children safe from online predators.
Time belongs to the gentleman from Maryland. The gentleman can proceed.
Yeah, and I want the whole country to look at this, because this is the Attorney General of the United States, whose job is law enforcement. We've never had a witness who has misunderstood our rules and been unable to conform his or her conduct to our rules before. We have only 5 minutes, and so we use our time to ask you specific questions.
How long are you giving me to answer?
Excuse me, I'm not yielding to you right now. I'd like that second restored too. So, Ms. Bondi, the way it works is we ask you a question, and you answer it, and if you go off on a wild goose chase, another tangent, you start reading statistics, or you start talking about stuff going on in our district, and by the way, I invite you to my district. Come to my district, but that's not what we're here to do today, okay? So, and you do that, then we're allowed to say we reclaim our time. At that point, you have to be quiet. You have no choice. You have to be quiet. So I hope you understand the rule at this point. Now, here's what I want to ask you. You're in law enforcement. We've seen all kinds of evidence of crimes. And when we go over to the Department of Justice for the 4 computers for every member of Congress, we see more evidence of crimes. Will you create a joint task force of the Department of Justice and governors and state attorney generals and district attorneys across the country to investigate the crimes that have taken place against these victims and more than 1,000 like them? The DOJ is not doing its job. Will you create a task force with state and local law enforcement to make that happen?
Gentlelady can respond if she wants to.
Thank you, Chairman. He called Chase Mulligan a wild goose chase and didn't even know who he was. He is a defendant in your own district who preyed on girls.
Mr. Chairman.
Well, you know what? If he were part of the Epstein investigation, you wouldn't do anything about it.
Online chat rooms and committed sextortion. Yet he didn't even know in your tiny little district who he was.
Mr. Chairman, she's embarrassing you.
He's about to be
This is your committee, and she is embarrassing you.
Shame on you.
In a normal deposition, a direct question gets a direct answer. But in high-stakes congressional oversight, a direct question is, well, it's just an invitation for rhetorical warfare.
Oh, absolutely. It completely changes the dynamic.
Right. Welcome to today's deep dive into the source material. We're unpacking a highly charged C-SPAN transcript of an exchange between Representative Jamie Raskin and Attorney General Pam Bondi.
And just to be clear for you listening, our mission today isn't to take political sides.
No, not at all. We are looking objectively at the anatomy of a congressional clash. We want to show you how a hearing can instantly shift from substantive policy to pure deflection.
So the transcript opens with Representative Raskin leveling a pretty severe accusation.
Right.
He claims Attorney General Bondi violated federal law by publishing the personal information of anonymous survivors.
Which is a huge deal.
Yeah, it is. And he contrasts the tangible danger placed on those victims against a theoretical $10 billion Department of Justice payout for Donald Trump. I mean, he is demanding accountability for a federal privacy breach.
But wait, because Bondi doesn't even address the federal privacy claim, does she?
Not even a little bit. She immediately pivots to a local issue.
Yeah, she demands to know if Raskin recognizes the name Chase Mulligan, a predator operating in his own district.
Exactly. And then she accuses him of having Trump derangement syndrome.
Okay, I mean, let's unpack this. It's like a tennis match where one player serves a fastball and instead of hitting it back,
the opponent just points out a giant pothole on the server's side of the court.
Yes, exactly. But Is pointing out a local predator a valid counterpoint for an attorney general, or is it purely an evasion tactic?
Well, it's really a calculated rhetorical hijacking. Psychologically, when you introduce a visceral local threat like a specific predator, you force the opponent into a defensive posture.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, it biologically shifts the brain's focus from an abstract federal policy debate to an immediate, emotionally charged accusation of local negligence.
It's like setting off the fire alarm during a difficult exam.
That is a great way to put it.
She didn't just dodge the test question. She changed the immediate environment so that the original test was, no longer the priority.
Right. Suddenly, the narrative reframes from who exposed victims federally to who is failing to protect them locally.
Wow. And because Bondi refuses to engage on the federal level, Raskin kind of has no choice but to try and force compliance.
Right, using the only tool he has left, the committee rules.
He literally pauses the substance entirely to lecture her on procedure.
Yeah, he brings up the strict 5-minute limit.
And his right to reclaim his time, right? He says that to stop a witness from going on a wild goose chase, he's basically trying to use parliamentary procedure as a verbal kill switch.
Reclaiming time is like the ultimate parliamentary weapon. It's designed to allow a representative to cut the microphone and assert dominance over the clock.
Which he needs to do to get his actual question answered.
Exactly. He tries to use this mechanical rule to force an answer to his actual policy question, which was whether she will form a joint federal-state task force to investigate victim crimes.
But here's where it gets really interesting to me. Are these parliamentary rules actually designed to extract factual answers? Or are they just used when someone is losing control of the narrative?
Well, parliamentary weapons only work if both sides acknowledge the legitimacy of the rulebook, and Bondi doesn't.
Right, she just catches his procedural lecture and throws it right back at him.
Yeah, she weaponizes his use of the phrase wild goose chase. She mocks him for calling a local predator a wild goose chase in what she calls his tiny little district.
Oh, wow. Which prompts Raskin to tell the chairman that she's embarrassing the committee.
Exactly. She completely neutralizes his attempt to control the room.
So the fierce debate over microphone control completely swallows the actual policy question.
It really does. Raskin's inquiry about a critical joint task force just dissolves. The combatants are no longer fighting over facts.
They're fighting a meta battle over the structure of the hearing itself.
Right. When a witness simply refuses to play by the established parliamentary rules, the system's ability to extract factual answers breaks down entirely.
So a critical hearing regarding survivor privacy and law enforcement task forces ultimately transformed into basically a masterclass in deflection and procedural squabbling.
Yeah, it proves that in high-stakes oversight, the real story often isn't the answers given on the record. The real story is the mechanics of the evasion.
So when you watch future oversight hearings, watch the mechanics. Are they answering the question, or are they just changing the battlefield?
That is the key thing to look out for.
Which leaves us with this final thought for you to mull over. If congressional oversight relies entirely on mutual adherence to committee rules, what is the ultimate cost to justice when neither side agrees on the basic terms of engagement?